Hey everybody. Welcome to the playchoicespodcast, a podcast here. I'm your host. Welcome. In 2021, my New Year's resolution is to no longer go by the name RJ, so we're changing it to V, because it's cute. We'll spend this episode discussing the first two chapters of Ride or Die, Bad Romance. This episode is not spoiler safe, so if you want to avoid spoilers from the first two chapters of this book, please leave. I don't know how to say that nicer. That sounds rude, but like it's
You
a
can't
spoiler.
be here.
You should not be here if you're gonna get upset. And plus, this book was published in 2019. It's been 2 years. You've had time. Hi.
Hi V.
Hi, Lucas.
So glad to be here.
How are you?
I am enthusiastic and vibrant, and I'm ready to discuss what we gotta discuss.
Wow. Enthusiastic and vibrant.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, how do we know each how how do we know each other? How did this get started? And how did you get introduced to the app choices?
Well, you know, we met on Xbox, and this is your hobby that you do, and I don't know, like I just wanted to be a part of that, so I was like, let me download this, Choices app, see what it's about. I had low expectations,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I was actually pleasantly shocked.
Yes, we met on Xbox. That's 100% true. We definitely met on Xbox. Okay, Tyler.
Oh my god.
No, Lucas, I mean, obviously, duh, we're using fake names. So not our real names. That's what we'll be calling each other while we're recording. But we've been friends for like years and years and years.
Yeah,
And
like
I think I just
forever.
yeah, forever. Like literally forever. And I think I had introduced the app to you because, well, I introduced the podcast to you before I introduced you to the
Yes.
app.
Yes.
So essentially, I was like, "Isn't it crazy that in 2019 I put out a podcast?" And Lucas is like, "What are you talking about?"
Yes.
Because I had never mentioned it before. Um, and then you listened to the entire episode across like what, 2 days? It's a long episode.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's like 3 hours. We're not doing that shit again.
No, 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 no,
we
no,
are
no.
we are
Nobody
not. We
got
don't have
time
the
for
time.
that.
No, ain't nobody got time for that. So
Me in
we're
quarantine still
doing
ain't got time for that. Like, oh.
exactly. We have nothing but time and still do not have time for that. So and then I think you just kind of I think you had a little bit of interest, and then I told you I was like, why don't you help me co-host a podcast?
Oh yes, most def.
Yes. So you said you had low expectations. I'm just curious like what that means. What were your low expectations?
So it almost okay. The best way I can describe it would be like I thought the stories would be like not saying that there aren't stories out there because obviously we're just going to be discussing the one, but it gave me very fan fiction vibes. It gave me very
Right.
it gave me very like either the plot is like it goes 0 to 100 real fucking quick, or like it just like it's not there. So the story that we would be talking about, like I do feel like the plot had a good slow rise to it, especially at the end of the second chapter, which we will talk about eventually. But like, I was thoroughly like, I was invested.
Right.
I called you after the first episode, and I was like, "Ooh,
Yes.
go on the second."
I was like, don't tell me anything, but I could tell you were like, oh. You're like, what's happening in this first chapter?
Yeah, it's so funny because the cliffhangers that are in the chapters, like it almost truly feels like a TV show, and that's what like about it. How like every episode almost feels like, you know, your favorite TV show because you're like, no, we did not just end on this. I need to get to the next chapter and see what's going on.
Right. No, yeah. And how do I say this? It's like I just love this book. I've played this book probably like 5 or more times.
Right.
Oof. I'm sorry. I'm
Mhm.
like so I kind of warned Lucas before we started recording this podcast. I have a little bit of a rant, and every single
Right.
time I think about this book, it makes me want to rant. Um, I'm just curious before we move on into my bullshit. Are there any stories that like when you were scrolling through the app that you were like, "Oh, I want to read that next?"
There was one, and I think it's listed under the VIP books. I'm not sure, but it
Mhm.
very supernatural feels. It was like Wolf Bride or
Yeah.
Wolf something.
Mhm.
Like my aspect and like my interest when it comes to like these books, I can say now that I'm a, you know, I downloaded an app, I used it a little bit.
You're a user, right? You're a
Right,
reader.
I'm a user. I feel like it would be part of that like supernatural type plot or what we're on, which is like very much, you know, naive girl doesn't really know what she is getting herself into type scenario, bad boy, like love that. Just love
Mhm.
that aspect.
Right.
It's a tale that has been told many times, but it's a good one, okay?
Oh, it's built on a lot of cliches. I
Yes.
don't think anyone can deny that. This entire book is built on a lot of cliches. And oof, girl. We will get into all of that.
We are gonna get into it.
I want to go into my rant.
I'm
Okay.
here for it.
So, you understand how these games work. Sometimes there are certain choices that you can make that require diamonds, and diamonds are like the way that the app encourages you to spend real life money
Right.
to support the company. I played this book many times, okay? This is hands down my favorite book that this app has ever put out. I bought every diamond choice from my LI.
Oh,
Back when they
okay.
yes, yes. And I also replayed the book with other LIs because it kind of changes the story like a little bit, a tiny
Mhm.
bit, not significantly. So, I was doing that. When now this book is obviously it's completed, it's finished, okay? For your information, because I know you haven't been on the app for a long time, but normally when they finish a book, they try to finish it within 16 chapters. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So on the 16th chapter was like the finale, okay? They said that they were going to do a sequel. That was in 2019.
They've not
So
done a sequel.
all 2020, I'm getting their little Pixelberry is the name of this of the company who writes these books,
Mhm.
right? That's what they're called. Um I'm looking for their little newsletters. They're like, no updates on Ride or Die 2. I'm like, okay, that's the only reason I'm fucking here. But okay.
I bet. I'll hold on.
Bet. They just put out a newsletter in the first month of 2021
Okay.
listing a couple of books that are fan favorites that they confirmed would not get sequels. And you want to guess who was on that list?
Why? Hold up. Wait.
I have the quote from the newsletter. I'm gonna read it.
Wait a damn minute.
This is the newsletter from Pixelberry that came out in January, aka the month that we are recording this. Sometimes we want to do a sequel, but the lead writer is no longer available because they've moved on to a different project or even left the company. We've tried changing lead writers in the past, only to watch sequels struggle, losing sight of what made the original great. This is what happened in the case of Ride or Die. We simply don't have the team now with the passion and vision to give fans the sequel they crave. Now, I know who the lead writer for Ride or Die was. It's the same guy who wrote Open Heart, which Lucas you would enjoy because it's Grey's Anatomy inspired.
Period. Okay.
The guy who was a lead writer, I'm pretty sure his name was Luke. And he is still in the company as far as I remember. He's just the lead writer for Open Heart, and I think that they have just pivoted him to that project instead. And here's the thing. Here's my rant starts. I'll put a fucking timestamp somewhere if y'all don't want to fucking hear this. Okay. spoil the ending or anything. I'm not going to give you any details, but a lot of people felt like from the ending that there was really that was it. Like people saw the ending of the book and they were like, this is a one book series, okay?
Okay.
And then when they announced there was the second one coming, people were excited, but they were just like, how?
Mm-hmm.
Which I agree with them. But at the end of the day, in 2019, you had promised us you were going to get us a second book, and now all of a sudden, it's not coming.
Yeah, you can't blue ball us and not
I got blue ball for 2 motherfucking years.
talking about something like we don't have the right staff. Oh, you better find them.
You better clone Luke.
Let me talk
I
to
would
him. Luke and Luke, I can listen. I can communicate with myself.
Luke and Lucas. You said you want me to write it?
Not an issue.
Not a problem, baby. Here's my just general thoughts and feelings about this scenario and about the app and Pixelberry in general.
Okay.
I don't know. They got purchased by a different company. They were like a small company. They got purchased by a big company. I don't quite remember like when that happened. But ever since they got purchased by this big company, I do personally, my opinion, personally feel as though the quality of the books have gone downhill fast.
Okay.
Every book that and when they first started, they had books like Most Wanted that weren't necessarily, they were more like crime based. Like they just had books of lots of different genres that didn't just put so much emphasis on romance. Obviously, Ride or Die is not an example of that because hello, the first book she like runs into this hottest guy,
No,
obviously.
that's yeah.
But they had like very like structured, good plot books that just wasn't entirely based off of romance and having a sexy li. Li is an acronym that the fan base uses for love interest.
Okay.
And I feel like over time they have shifted to the type of books that the silent majority are bigger fans of than the plot heavy ones, which are very fluffy books that have a lot of diamond choices to have intimate and often sexual moments with the allies. And if that's the type of book that people want to play, that's fine. But because I don't know if you've ever seen those ads for like chapters or episodes, like those other types of games that also provide a similar type of content. But
Okay.
for me, I've probably been playing on choices since 2018. And I kind of got into discussing the episodes with the Reddit community, Reddit, reddit.com/r/choices.
Mm-hmm.
And we are our very opinionated bunch, okay?
Okay.
And I think we're all on the same page that we appreciate these plot heavier books that aren't so romance focused. And it's not that romance is a bad thing, but it's just like there needs to be something beside that. And over time, their books have kind of like moved towards just romance and has moved away from a secondary plot. Every title kind of like hints at a romantic possibility. Like there's this one about, I think it's politics. I really haven't done that much research into it. It's called Foreign Affairs. And it's like every cover of a book has to have two people that are like looking all loved up. And it's just really disappointing. I feel like over time, the quality of their books have gone down because they just shifted to putting as much allies into the book as possible. So that way they could put diamond scenes
Right.
and then more people would want to pay for those diamond scenes because if you're invested in the LI, you want to see what's happening. It's very disappointing to me. And it's disappointing because when I had heard, first of all, I think the mindset that a lot of people who are in the fan base have is that if you like a book, spend money on it, spend
Right.
diamonds on it,
Right.
because that will be the easiest way to communicate to the company, I want to see another one of these books. However, it's just like I spent all these diamonds on this bitch. When I thought I was getting a sequel, I spent all these diamonds. and now it's not getting a sequel. And I truly feel like a large part of the reason why I hung on to this fan base is because books that I was a fan of were getting sequels.
Got you.
And that's undeniable. Like, obviously, Pixelberry is a business and they can do what they need to do in order to keep the lights on. But at the end of the day, we not friends, bitch. Like, you putting out content, it's true. You're putting out content that I'm paying for. I have literally given this app money before. That's not a joke. Like, I've literally given this app money before. Not often, but I've given it to them. So if you are not producing content that I enjoy as a consumer, why would I buy?
Exactly.
And I'm sure that they're doing fine. If you look at the stats of their books, a lot of these books that the Reddit community thinks are really bad end up scoring well with the broader community. So I feel like some people were going back and forth. There was a post that was made on Reddit that was talking about this newsletter they put out. And some people were like, I don't understand why people are giving Pixelberry such a hard time. You guys are like being unfair, blah, blah, blah. I don't really give a fuck if anyone says I'm unfair. If you're not putting out content that I don't want to, if you are not putting out content that I don't want to read, I do not owe you anything.
No, and that's on everything. That's on period.
Like, we are not friends. I am not here buddy buddy. I don't know any of the writers personally. If you are writing bullshit stories, I'm not going to read them. And you're sure as hell not getting my money.
And it's not even about that. I mean, like, it is, but at the same time, they promise you a sequel and then they lie to you. So, like, we already not friends, like, from the get go. Like,
Right. Because now, and that's that's what a lot of people were getting upset about, because Lucas, there were a couple of books that have been out since 2016, 2017 that up until this month they were telling people they were going to put out a sequel to.
oh my God.
For 5 years, they were telling people they were going to make a sequel to Hero. Never fucking happened. And so at this point, we're like, y'all knew that that was on the back burner. You could have put out a little something something saying, listen, this is on the back burner and we don't know if we're going to get to it. I mean, probably something phrased a little bit more professionally than that, but you could have said something. And you know that a lot of these consumers are hanging around this app waiting for these stories. And meanwhile, we're engaging with the rest of the stuff. It just kind of feels like we're getting led on a little bit, personally, in my opinion, because if I had known that they were going to cancel all of these books, I don't know if I would have been hanging around this long. Anyways, those are my thoughts
Like,
about
they
what has
could
happened.
at least did an epilogue. Like, if you can't do a whole nother book, okay, that's fine. Just do like a little epilogue to tie up any loose ends that you feel like the fans need just to satisfy them.
Yeah.
Just to not create anything at all after you said that you were going to create something. That's just a slap in the face.
And it honestly, like, it feels bad as someone who, like, put money in towards this book because I genuinely enjoyed playing it, and I would
Mhm.
spend like hours on Reddit kind of discussing like the plot and stuff with everybody. It just like it sucks. I think listen, this topic came up on the plot of Ride or Die on the episode for Ride or Die. This does not mean that it is specific to Ride or Die. I think Ride or Die is one of those books that is an example that could be a good standalone. I do think there are other books that they canceled that obviously needed another book, and it just sucks. Like, it just sucks. When you've been on the app this long and the quality of the stories are going down, and then the good stories that you like, they're no longer getting sequels, and they're pushing out these like shitty motherfucking sequels for books like Baby Bump. Fuck Baby Bump 2. Who the fuck? Who wants that? Probably some moms on Facebook. Maybe. I don't know. But I don't. Oh my god. Okay, I just need to get that off my chest. Anyways, I'm saying that because I mean, Lucas, this is if you enjoy recording this podcast, if you enjoy looking at these books, then we can go back through the catalog of like good books. And not to say that every book that they put out is bad. Like, I definitely haven't been playing every book as it's released because obviously I have gotten detached from the stories they've been putting out over the past couple of months.
Right.
But if there's a good book, like, we'll do an episode on it if we want to. But I don't know. It may get to a point where we may have to jump ship from choices and go on to a different app.
You heard it here first.
I refuse. I refuse to do like 100 episodes on My First Two Loves. Lucas, I know we've never played that book, but don't. It's 100 chapters long and it's not good. And that's if you just look at don't even Lucas, don't even waste a key on it. Just go on YouTube, look up Choices, My First Two Loves, watch like the first like 1 to 2 chapters, and you'll understand why we will not be recording an episode on that one. And that is a great example of the quality they have been putting out recently. It hasn't been good. Okay, that was my rant. I hope you enjoyed it.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was
Thank
filled
you.
with hot tea that we will
Mhm.
now serve to the general public.
Let's go into the meat potatoes of like what we came here to do.
Okay.
It's time to start discussing Ride or Die, chapters 1 and 2, but we're just gonna start with chapter 1 for now. Chapter 1's called The Boy with the Car. The genres of this book, they have it under street racing, which is funny because it's literally the only book that's about street racing. So the fact that they gave it its own genre is hilarious to me.
Especially since because, it's not gonna have a second part, but
No, exactly. There's no sequel. So this is the only book in the genre of street racing. So street racing, romance, and adrenaline. The summary of the first chapter is Logan isn't the type of boy that you can bring home to dad. Dot dot dot. Not when dad's the detective tasked with taking down Logan's illegal street racing crew. Okay. Um, for the purposes of this book, because the default name of the character is Ellie Wheeler, I'm just gonna call her Ellie when we
okay.
like walk through what happens in these chapters. I think you called her Luna.
I did, but Ellie works. That's fine. There's too many L's in this fucking scenario, anyways.
I mean, Ellie kind of sounds like the L. It sounds like you're saying L. Okay, so um, the way the book let's just start talking through the series of events that happens through chapter 1. So the way that the book start off in kind of like a flash forward of Ellie in a car with a very attractive man,
Yes,
who is
yes.
speeding in the car. And this is kind of the point where you get to design your character, name them, et cetera, and you get to pick what the man looks like.
Mhm.
And really the only plot related detail that we get here is that it's Ellie's 18th birthday. Okay. So then the book transitions back to the beginning of the very same day, where Ellie wakes up in her bed. We learn a couple of key details in this scene. We learn that her dream school is Langston College. She walks downstairs. Her dad is cooking her breakfast. He gives her a gift. And it's through the gift giving that we learn that her mom is also, she's passed. She's dead,
Right.
deceased. Okay. So it's just her and her dad. Um, Ellie asked her dad for driving lessons. It's her 18th birthday. She's never learned how to drive. And we learn that her dad doesn't think it's safe for her to drive. And he tells her that it's not really a necessary skill since she'll be in the city and college, so she won't need a car. I'm just curious. What are your thoughts on her not being able to drive because her father hasn't taught her yet?
So here is the real tea. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Got the tea.
Okay.
Him being a detective, that was something that I did not read in the synopsis. It was something I figured out at the end of the first episode.
I don't think that they really tell you until the end.
Oh, got you, got you. Okay, so with
Yeah.
that being said, he makes a comment that's like, "Oh, with my line of work, there are a lot of accidents, and I can never like imagine you in one." And
Uh-huh.
I automatically got like defensive. First, I was like, "Yeah, like the DMV or something."
You're a crosswalk guard? I don't understand.
Because I understand the essence of like daddy's little girl. I've raised you, I've loved you by myself, like because we lost, aka my wife, your mom. I understand that. But at some point, I just feel like that would just be keeping your child in ignorance because like they have to know how to drive. Like he's right in the sense of like it's not a necessity, but God forbid it's some apocalypse, some meteor crashes down in this, and she has a functioning car beside her, and she gotta wait for the bus to come. Like I just like there are a lot more scenarios in life where you need to know how to drive a car than you would wouldn't need to.
Right.
So when I like the way the character is developed in the beginning, like, oh, I'm about to be in my dream college, and like, I'm like, girl, you all focus, you all ready for the future, but you don't know how to drive yet. I'm like, mm-mm. That leave a sour taste in my mouth. And then right after that conversation, she get on the bus, and then she has the audacity to be like, "Oh, I'm around a whole bunch of freshmen and sophomore." I said, get off, just walk, like, get
Here,
off.
here's the thing. I identify as a woman. Okay, I grew up as a woman. Well, no, I grew up as a girl, but I grew up female. Okay. Um, my father was overprotective in some ways and very much not in other ways, and like driving was not a thing for him. It was my mom. My mom was very against me driving. I agree with you. I think driving, I know you said it's not a necessary skill. I think it is. I
Yeah,
don't really care whether you live in the city or you don't have a car or whatever. Like I think you should have a license, and I think you should at the very least know how to put your fucking car in reverse.
absolutely. Like, no one's telling you you got to be out here learning how to drive stick, but like, come on, automatic where it does it for you.
Come on. You can't park. Bitch, you can't do a left turn park.
Oh god.
Like, it's definitely ridiculous.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
it's like the first this is ooh, I just really don't like it. I think you're ensuring that your child is ill prepared. And the other part of it that I don't find believable is I'm like, girl, you don't have any other friends that have cars? You can't sneak around a little driving lesson here or there?
And here's the thing, though, the dialogue where they were talking about her mom, right?
Mhm.
And I picked like, oh, she would be proud of you, right? Because I was like, you know what, like, I gotta put recognition on my single father who do everything for me.
Right.
He said, "Oh, JK, I'm not gonna teach you how to drive." I said, "How do I go back? How do I?"
How do I reverse? Oh my god. You said actually, I regret being nice at all to you
I
this morning.
regret, yeah. And then, like you said, she name dropped her two friends
Right.
coming to the story right after this scene. But you a senior, and you don't know. And you know what's so crazy? They really make her out to be like some kind of outcast that nobody knows, nobody wants to talk to, or whatever. And like all the character skins is mad pretty, so I'm just like a little confused as to like. And I'm not trying to be egocentric. I'm not trying to be, but like she's like all the skins were really pretty, and like I can't imagine. It's like they're holding on to the '80s, because I can't imagine in this day and age, like me and you, for example, like where we grew up, you were popular if you were smart. Like that's
Yeah.
so it was very hard for me to connect with her because she's like, oh, she wants to be valedictorian, and she's like, oh, I can't be like that other girl who's valedictorian and goes to parties. I was like, girl, why not? I did it. Like, is
It
it
is admittingly, it is very confusing because it's not even that she's not popular because she's smart, because like Ingrid, I mean, I know we're skipping ahead here, but
Mhm.
Ingrid, her fucking little rival, she is also pretty and popular and is right behind her in class and has all this
Yes.
other shit. So like it's not really a function of her being smart that's like preventing her from being social. She's just like not a social person. And it's kind of like I don't really know who to blame because obviously we're only in chapter 1. Like you don't really have that much characterization, so you're like, do I blame the dad? Do I blame
Mhm.
her for like being
Mhm.
too shy? I don't really like know what the function of her like being not very popular at school is. I don't really know.
I think that's just very much like something that we just have to take face value. Like, oh, she's a loner, she ain't got no friends. Okay, cool, great. Let her meet this boy.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Like,
Yeah, like there really isn't like a good explanation. Like we don't really know. Like I'm more heavily leaning towards her like not being very social because I mean, again, we're skipping ahead in plot, but like when she gets invited to that party, her first gut feeling is like, "Oh no, I'm not going." And her friend
right.
has to like talk her into going to the party. So, I'm willing to blame it more on her because to be honest,
Yes.
pretty
Yes.
much the only time that her dad comes off as strict to me is on the driving. Again, we're skipping shit.
Yes, we are. We're gonna pace
get
ourselves.
there, but like I just want to finish my point.
Absolutely.
So when it gets to the point where you're leaving for the party, if you choose to tell your dad it's a party, he's not mad. When Logan drops you off and it's a boy, he's not mad. Let me tell you some shit. If I went to a party and a boy dropped me off, I think my dad would be a little irritated with me.
Lord, I was gay and I couldn't even take you anywhere till we were in high school. So
Exactly. Literally, you could not drive me anywhere. You could not stay the night. And I was like, literally, nothing about the two of us is attracted to the other person.
no, like at all.
Your sexuality was literally working against you being attracted to me. And my father was like, no. So for her dad to see a boy in a fancy racing car dropping her
Mm-hmm.
off,
Mm-hmm.
and for him to be like, oh, well, he must have been really nice of him to leave the party for you. Um, I'm just having a hard time imagining him being so strict that he would be the reason
Right.
that she doesn't go out, you know? Anywho. Okay, so after the scene when he tells her no to her driving lessons, Ellie's on the bus. It fucking sucks.
It sucks.
All of the kids are loud. She's like the only senior that's on the bus. For some reason, she's trying to study on the bus.
Oh my god, the way they dragged it, that was hilarious. She was like, oh yeah, she tried to study, but the old rickety bus was so like broke down that it jumped up and down. I'm like, wow, y'all.
Rickety bus. She about to hit her head on the top of the
Yeah,
bus.
she took a roller coaster to fucking school. Like,
Yes. So while she's kind of like lamenting on her terrible bus experience, there's this nice, very expensive looking yellow car that pulls up beside the bus. This is when we see the same boy from the forward is driving it, and then he makes eye contact with Ellie before pulling off. So again, we're getting a lot of foreshadowing. We're getting a lot of like, who is this character? What's with the yellow car, etc., etc. So Ellie arrives at her prep school. It's called Mar Vista. Basically, we learn, as we stated, this bitch has like no friends.
right.
She's looking around the parking lot. Nobody's looking at her. Like she's not kikiing with anybody. So she has this thought where she wonders if she completely missed out on high school, which I'm sure a lot of people probably felt that way in high school. Um, she notices the same yellow car from earlier is parked in the school lot, and she has this thought where she thinks to herself she's never seen that yellow car in the parking lot before. Okay. Her best friend Rhea and her best friend's boyfriend Darius, they walk up to her. They get into a conversation. Ellie starts to hint that she wishes she woke up feeling or being either a different person or having
Right.
a different personality. So again, we're establishing the characterization of Ellie kind of like being stuck, I think, in a little bit of a rut. You know, she feels like she should be a different person than who she is today. There's a need for a change. So Rhea asks Ellie who exactly she wants to be. Who is she talking about? The choices that you can make here are you can pick, I want to be the best person I can be. You can fall in love, or getting the hell out of LA. The question I have for you, what do you think 18-year-old you would answer to this question?
So 18. Ooh, hold up. You fucked me up. You fucked me up, best friend. You fucked me up. I have to go with what my 18-year-old self would say, right? And I'm going to say what I picked after years of like acceptance and like we'll get there. We'll get there. 18-year-old me, right? It would definitely be I would want to find love.
Yeah.
Right? Definitely, like most deaf. Like I would want to find love. Like just everything, like Disney movies and rom-coms, like they just always tell you that like no matter what, eventually someone's gonna be out there for you and it's gonna be nice and it's gonna be loving. Cool, great. Now, reading the choices, I was like, bitch, you don't need no man, first of all. And second of all, you live in LA. Like, I understand the sense of like getting away from like your hometown and stuff. LA, like that is so many opportunities, so many like I can't imagine why anyone would ever want to live there, being born and raised there. So I was like, we're not gonna click that, okay? just because you're having like a midlife crisis because you can't drive, we're not gonna pick that. So I like I want to be the best person that I can be because I just feel like if you're the best person that you can be, everything else will fall into place. Like if
Yeah,
you find a man and fall in love, like that's gonna fall into place. And if you're meant to leave and explore, that's gonna fall into place. So I was like,
right.
let's focus on ourselves. Let's be the best that we can be. But if it was 18-year-old me, definitely after a man. Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% with you. I definitely think when I was 18, I was looking for a little bit of love, a little bit of
Right.
affection.
Right.
Um, Today, absolutely picking the best I can be.
Yes.
Again, I have so many friends who are born and raised here, and they're like, "I want to go somewhere else." I'm like, "What? Y'all spoiled.
Y'all
You, we had cotton fields.
we had cotton fields, like really, really, like okay, cool. Like if we didn't have a cotton field, we had a cornfield. Like that's what we grew
Yes,
up with. Like,
we had a cornfield and a dirt road
okay,
and one
like
gas station.
in order for us to even go to a movie theater, we had to drive 30 minutes. Like that's
Yeah,
not
we had to drive to the next town over to go to a movie theater. We didn't even have one in our own town.
every like her being in LA and like what are y'all complaining about? Like y'all don't know the struggle of driving 20 minutes to go get something to eat.
No, she definitely doesn't know that struggle. She can't drive. She doesn't know. She can't
Like
drive.
our hometown just got DoorDash like pretty recently within like a year
Are
or
you
so.
serious?
I'm so serious.
And you order from DoorDash like every night.
And I order from DoorDash every night.
Oh my god.
I would not be able to survive back home.
Oof. Oh no, honey. The only way that I would pick getting the hell out of blank is if it was getting the hell out of our hometown.
No,
And
dead
if it was
ass.
18-year-old
Yeah.
me, that then I would have picked that over falling in love. But it says getting the hell out of LA. So
And
like,
I was
no,
like,
I'm not
yeah, I said, girl, next. Anyways.
I did when I was playing though, I did pick falling in love just because that felt like more accurate to her character in my opinion. And I think you said you picked being the best you can be.
I did.
Okay. Okay, gotcha. If you do pick falling in love, Darius, Rhea's boyfriend says is great. Rhea says it's not everything and that Ellie should put herself first. Ellie says she has always put herself first and wants to find someone who puts her first. Very romantic. Very
Okay.
idealistic. Okay.
Okay.
Great. Also during this conversation, Ellie mentions that she has to keep her grades up until graduation. She can go to a summer
Yes.
program at Langston, her college, and that her valedictorian status is also up for grabs. And they also mentioned prom. So there is just like a lot of foreshadowing here. They're like, you need to keep grades up. We need to go to prom. We also learned that Ellie hasn't had her first kiss yet.
Yes. Yes.
Right. So there's a lot of like plot devices, a lot of like foreshadowing coming up. Um, so Ellie after discussing all these details, she seems really frustrated. She kind of asks herself, like, why can't she have it all? Um, she's good at school. She wants to have a thriving social life. She wants to have a love life. Rhea tells her she points out Ingrid, who is Ellie's like class rival, who's doing well in school. She's on every single sports team. She has a good social life, and she's like, look, you can be that person who has it all. Like, you don't have to sacrifice something. Okay.
I appreciate Rhea though. I do.
Yeah.
Like I appreciate her as a character and as a friend. Just for blatantly saying like, what is the difference between y'all two? Like she might have a
Yeah.
driver's license, but other than that, like what is the
Oh,
difference?
that's the difference. She can drive herself to parties. That's the difference. What if that's been it this entire time? What if she had gotten a license in a car and her life would have been very
Completely
different?
different. Oh, poor Ellie.
Oh, no, I love Rhea. Rhea's like definitely there's quite a few friends that sometimes when you play these games that you're introduced to and you're like, I don't know if I like these friends. They're kind of annoying. Like but Rhea, I feel like she's like the person who was an adult before the adults. You know what I
Oh,
mean? Like
absolutely.
she's like the
Absolutely.
adult mom teenage friend that we all needed when we were in high school and college. She's great. I love her. Okay, so after this conversation, Ellie runs into the boy that we saw in the car. the boy then tells her there are easier ways to get my attention. At this point, you can either decide to take his hand or get up on your own. I personally took his hand.
Oh, okay.
Hello, his face, and literally 5 minutes ago, Ellie was complaining about not having a man. So I said, let's get some physical contact in here, girl.
I think, yeah, I got up on my own, and
Oh,
it's
Miss
just so
Independent.
yeah, it's so funny because the wittiness that he has as a character, I really adore. Because
Hmm.
it back at you because I'm like, "Oh, I can take care of myself," and he was like, "Oh, I can see that," and I was like, "Damn, I should have took his hand." The fuck?
I will say, I mean, we can talk about this as especially as we get further into the plot, but I personally like him because as an adult, and I know she's 18, whatever. Some of the things that happen in this book, you can kind of blame on her being immature and not being exposed to life experience.
Oh, absolutely.
But the reason that I like him is because I like a person who's very straightforward and knows what they want.
Yes, yes, which is why, and we'll continue this,
Mhm.
at the, like, party scenes and even, like, towards, the 2nd chapter, I was like, "I gotta match energy at this point," because
Mhm.
he is so straightforward that it gives me so much confidence that, like, everything he says is, like, just the truth. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
I don't have to question his character because right off the bat, he's like, "Yeah, I be doing shit, I just be doing stuff that you probably aren't down with, but it is what it is," and I'm like, "You know what? Okay, alright." Like, but
Yeah, because normally when you're flirting with somebody, it's like, do they, don't they? I don't really know. And he's so in your face of being like, I want to talk to you and like I'm very impressed by you.
yes, yes.
Just like running into him. And like when someone is that straightforward and just kind of lets you know from the get-go that they're into you, it's like, well, why wouldn't I also be forthright with how I'm feeling
Mhm.
about the situation?
Exactly, because he doesn't need to play games. He does
Hmm.
type who he has a sexy ass car, he has a sexy ass body with a sexy ass face. So that being said, like, you gotta ask yourself, why would he be paying attention to me if he did not really want me? And like
Exactly.
again, so like I was like, we're gonna match energy. And so that's when I started being more direct. I wasn't over here like, oh, I got it myself. I was like, I will let you get it for me because I'm
Uh-huh.
it myself. And that's, like that we'll get there. We'll get there.
Right.
But my only I what because that's when the scene where you're talking to the guy who's throwing the party, right?
Brent, yeah.
Yes, and my only main concern, I'm like, is there no faculty or staff around? Is no one wondering why this boy showed up in this fancy ass car and is just talking to these students because he doesn't go here?
I get, but really, she does not go to school here.
She doesn't even go here. Like that's
I
just.
really don't know. Maybe it's just like because it's a rich school. I don't know, bruh. Like,
I mean, we will never know because they're from LA. So like we will never know what it's like over there.
no. Someone just rolling up in a yellow car. Like, you think the students and the faculty are not going to pay attention to that? Like,
But I was like, yeah, that was just like a little comment I had to make because I'm like, ain't no one pressed that. Okay, all right. Anyways, let's go back to the story. Like, I'm
um,
like, okay,
yeah.
whatever.
So again, we learn his name is Logan, so now I'll be calling him Logan from now on. We learn he is not a student at the high school, as we had mentioned before. He continues to flirt with Ellie by saying, I kind of wish I did go to school here. Just like really laying it on thick. Like, it's very clear that he's into her.
Oh yes.
So at this point, Brent interrupts. Brent is this like blonde haired, kind of an asshole from the dialogue.
Mhm, mhm.
He was the one who was previously talking to Logan prior to Ellie just like ramming her fucking entire body into Logan's back. Brent kind of interrupts and is like, so the conversation we were having. And then he says that he'll do some sort of exchange with Logan at Brent's party later on that night. And then Logan asks Ellie if she's going to the party and then ends up getting Ellie invited. Purely because Brent wants Logan to come to this party. Ellie starts to get cold feet. Um, Rhea starts yelling at her and basically being like, "No, you gonna go."
No, yeah, love her.
So Ellie goes home after school, picks out an outfit for the party. I think you had told me that you did not pay for any outfits in
I
this
did
game.
not because listen, I
Okay.
I saw the outfit. Was the outfit smoking? Absolutely. I was thoroughly impressed with like the development of that particular outfit. I was like, oh, that's nice.
Uh-huh.
Even the second one, we'll get to it. But I was like, no, he gotta like me for me. Cause like do I
Oh,
yeah, I'm like, do I want to be confident? Yes, but at the same time, like perception is reality, and I don't want him thinking like I'm just like everyone else. Like, no, I'm quirky and I just want you to like me for me. So I was like, it did make me mad. The
I'm
one thing
quirky.
that I don't like about this game, it's either you about to pay for these fucking diamonds or you about to wear this same old damn college sweatshirt she wear every other fucking day. And that's
Yeah, there are no other basic outfits for you to pick from. You either go into the party in the damn dress or you go in the Langston sweatshirt. She has no other clothes.
that she's apparently had since she was like 11. So I'm like, okay, so did you just buy the size that you feel like your body was gonna fit? Because there was just a this damn sweatshirt. I mean, at least she hung it off the shoulder, so it's kind of cute. Because my God, if it was just if she wore that shit regularly, I might have to pay the diamonds. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm over here like in my head, I was like, okay, cool. I don't want to pay diamonds for that outfit, but maybe they'll give me like a cute little sundress. And she's like, no, he's gonna like me for me. Let's go downstairs. I said, oh hell.
You said, bitch, if you don't get a t-shirt out of your closet and put that on, could you imagine? Can I just say, bruh, wearing the same clothes from literally 7 a.m. until 11 p.m.
To the party, like no, and when she,
You musky.
you must.
You musky, bruh.
First of all, you bumped into him and fell on the ground, so it's already probably dirty. You probably got like dirt stains on. Yeah, I should have paid for the diamonds. I should have paid for the diamonds.
It's okay, baby. You'll have a chance next couple of chapters. I'll tell you right now, she don't change that fucking outfit. She does not. She does not. You gotta pay for all her clothes. It's like she didn't have anything else but those damn jeans and that sweatshirt.
Oh my god, well, she can't drive herself to the mall, so I believe it. Like, I really do.
It's like, those damn cartoon characters that always wear the same thing every day. That's what she's like. That's what all these characters in these books are like, honestly.
See, this is how they make you spend money because I'd be damn.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay. So Ellie either walks downstairs in her musky little sweater or she puts on her new outfit. She goes downstairs. Her dad is setting up a board game per, I guess, Ellie's birthday tradition, and then her dad asks her where she's going. Obviously, she's dressed different. Looks like she's not going to stay at home.
Right.
Well, for you, maybe. For you, maybe. You can either tell your dad a party, a small get together, or you're going to Ria's house to study. What did you say?
I said a small get together.
Gotcha. I said a party.
I definitely said a small get together because I'm like, if he already talking about how he not gonna give me no damn driver's license or a car, what makes me think that he's gonna allow me to go to a party?
I'm gonna be honest. I just wanted to see what he was gonna say.
What did he say? I'm curious.
He he just says like, "Oh, have fun."
And you know why? It's almost so funny how like in the beginning of the chapter, again, they're like, "Oh, it's my birthday." But that's it. It is not mentioned. It is not nothing, right? So I almost keep forgetting that it's her birthday and I just think
Uh huh.
to a party and it almost makes me feel like it's your birthday, but you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. So like, and let's keep that energy because towards the end of the chapter, the conversation of her birthday, comes up again. And I'm like, damn, it is her damn birthday. I keep forgetting.
Mhm.
I'm just thinking like, and it's because of who her character is, and I think they do such a good job like that because she's not egocentric in the sense of like, it's my birthday, I'm going to do anything and everything that I want to do. She's,
Mhm.
I want to be different, and I'm like, you could have did that any other day. So like, the fact that it's your birthday almost seems irrelevant. But yeah, definitely was like, you know what? We're gonna go to Ria's for a couple little get together. And then he was like, oh, with who? And she started making up names. She was like, oh, Katie and I said, oh no.
Rebecca, just girls, just the gals,
Just the
Me
gals.
and my 15
And
friends.
then he wanted to be like, oh, my memory must be failing me. Like, okay, well, have fun, no problem. Like, okay, okay. So I was like, all right, we're good. We're golden. Let's go to this party.
Right. No, I definitely think when I first played this game the first time around, I just clicked small get together, kind of the same
Mhm.
thing as you, where I was like, "Ooh, if I told my dad it was a party, I don't really know if he'd let me go." But I played this game multiple times. I'd be getting a little risky at this point, so I just said party. Sometimes you just gotta take a chance and see what he says. He didn't seem that upset. Okay, so Ellie arrives at the party, bumps into Ingrid, so we know Ingrid's there. Ingrid being a bitch as always,
Mhm,
nothing new.
mhm.
I personally went to go check out the food. I feel like that's the first place
Same,
I always go to a
same,
party.
same. I
Yeah.
literally like, the
And these are rich
conversation.
people. They have good food.
Oh, absolutely, and the conversation
Uh-huh.
of, Rhea's boyfriend where he was like, "Yo, like, they're gonna spend mad money on this food, I'm about to go eat." I said, "Oh, he got a point. He got a."
Yeah. Yeah. Dance floor is free. The food, it expires and it costs
And you
money.
know
So
what?
let's
I'm
go eat.
so self-aware of just, like, things that my character has done, and I'm like, I have not like, this story has not mentioned food at all, so I don't know if she ate. We about to go ahead and handle that. We about to go eat, you hear me?
She had her Ellie special
Oh, that's
earlier in it.
right. At the very
Mhm.
beginning of the chapter,
And maybe lunch at school, but
I chose some waffles, I did, I remember. I chose
I also chose the waffles, the Belgian waffles, yeah.
mhm. It did look good too when the little picture pop up.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Uh, I
that's
said,
another
"Damn,
thing.
she going to school with a stomach ache."
No, for real. But yeah, so like definitely chose the food. They described it very nice, a lot of, elegant like finger foods and stuff. So I was down with it. I was like, ooh, love that.
Mhm. Mhm. Classy, classy.
Mm-hmm.
So Ellie sees Logan across the room of the party, talking to Brent, and he unzips a bag full of cash, and Brent gives him well, who was it? It was he gave Brent a set of keys, and Brent gave him the
Yes,
cash.
and gave him the
Yes,
cash.
that's
Yep.
what it was. Okay. As she's watching him, she's kind of like, "Oh, damn, that's a lot of
She said, "Damn,
cash.
that's a lot of money."
Damn, I never seen that much money before." She said, "Oh, he rich." She sees Ingrid walks over and starts flirting with Logan. And the whole time, Logan just looking at Ellie, right?
Which is so sexual and just so I love that so much. Like,
Mhm.
and again, that truly just makes me feel like he is all about you. Because in what world would like he is so confident in himself to not even pretend to even talk to her. Like
Right.
he is truly like all about you. And like, oh, I was like, oh, can I get a man like that in real life?
That's happened to me in real life, and I'll tell you, is there's nothing better than a confidence boost.
Oof. And Rhea all
There,
about it. Rhea said, "Oh, he looking at you, bitch. You gotta go. You
uh-huh.
talk to him."
Rhea was about it. Rhea was like, "We are getting this bitch a kiss tonight.
No, for real.
We are getting what's that Disney princess that needs a kiss?
Sleeping Beauty.
Yes, we're getting Sleeping Beauty a kiss." Mhm. Um, Okay, so Ellie approaches Logan to save him from Ingrid. There's a couple of ways you can play out the situation. You can act casual, coy, or straightforward. Either way, Ellie calls out Logan, calls him out on bringing like a bag of cash or getting the bag of cash from Brent, and Logan is like really upfront with her, which is like not what I was expecting when I first played this
Oh,
game.
yes, most def. I thought he would be a little more like come with me and I'll show you, or like a little bit like, oh, why do you want to know? He's like, oh,
Right.
dad, I sold him a car, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yes. Right. And that takes us to the diamond scene where Logan invites Ellie to come to the garage and see Brent's car collection.
Which
Okay.
I do because I was like, any alone, like I'm not gonna spend money on an outfit, but if it's an intimate moment, let's do it. Let's go. I'm for it.
Let me ask you, did you just start with diamonds?
I
Like, did
did
you just
start with
have diamonds?
diamonds. Yeah, I did
Okay.
start with diamonds.
Gotcha. Okay. I
That's how
forget
they.
how many diamonds this scene cost. I forget.
That's how they get you though. They start you with diamonds.
Hmm.
Like you just use them with Millie, and then next thing you know, the next choice I get is I'll teach you how to drive Diamond Edition, and now I ain't got no diamonds.
Yeah. I'll teach you how to drive. Okay.
Now we screwed.
For 90 diamonds, I will teach you how to drive. What if they put that choice in like episode 1 where it's like when you ask your dad and he's like 90 diamonds, yes. No diamonds, no. And the book just ends.
Literally just ends. Oh my god.
If you take the diamond option, if you say yes, you go downstairs with him. I don't really know, like, here's the thing. I'm biased because just so you know, as I've played this game, Logan has been my alive choice every single time.
Mhm.
If I'm being unbiased, I don't know if this diamond option is worth it because he's very vague and mysterious, and he tries to put a layer of being charming over those things. And we don't really gain like that much knowledge about him other than that he knows a lot about cars. He's like quoting all the specs of each one in the garage, kind of vaguely comments that he like hasn't had a happy life.
Oh,
Cliche,
yes,
cliche,
that
cliche.
yes, yes, I'm so glad we talked about this. Okay, so I paid
Mhm.
for that scene, and then in the
Mhm.
second episode, I paid for the additional scene, and we'll get
Mhm.
there. What I realized when I paid for the second one, I was like, "It better not be like the first one where I don't get nothing from it." Because
Yeah.
yes, like the specs and then, like, I forgot what the question was that she asked him, but it
She asked him, I think it was like one of the choices was like, why are you so into cars? Like, how'd you get into cars?
it was, like, the 2 choices that you could choose from, I was like, "Well, I guess I have to ask about him because the other one is just completely, like, irrelevant."
Uh-huh.
The whole, like, "Oh, I'm from everywhere and nowhere." I said, "Sir, oh my god, okay."
I know. That's the one time where I was like, Logan, I'm getting a little dry. I'm getting a little dry. Come on.
You're giving me very
Reveal something about
anti-WAP.
yourself.
Yeah, giving
Yes.
me very anti-WAP, like
Giving me dry ass pussy. That's what I'm getting here. We're getting dop. Yeah, we just kind of learned that like he kind of hints at the fact that his life hasn't been happy and that he prefers like dealing with cars over
mhm,
people,
mhm.
which is interesting because he's like a very charming, very charismatic person in my opinion. Maybe some people wouldn't agree, but it's interesting that he like has all this charm and charisma and he's like, I choose when I want to use it. Like I'm not a person who like surrounds myself with people because they're too much trouble. And the other thing we learned from the scene is that he's been on the road a lot.
Yes.
Okay. Um, Logan offers to let you drive a car. This is the first time that Ellie tells him that she doesn't know how to drive a car. Um, there's this whole like pseudo cliche scene where again, like she falls, he always breaking
He
her fall for
no,
some
literally,
reason.
and she always damn falling.
She always falling on top of him
Maybe
all the
that's why
time.
she
I'm like,
can't be
girl,
behind the wheel because
you're
her
right.
coordination?
You're clumsy.
No, for real.
You might accidentally hit the gas when you mean to hit
And
the
you know what's
brakes.
so funny? She fell getting into the car, so that just makes me feel that's even more that, like
She's like, "I've never gotten into a driver's seat before. I don't know how to do this." And then the scene just ends with Logan hearing sirens, okay? Okay. So basically, hear sirens, cops are coming, party's been busted. Logan helps Ellie escape, and then the two take off by
Mhm,
car.
mhm.
It's kind of crazy that they're literally arresting a group of 50 teenagers, and they notice the two that are getting away over the gate. I don't know why this ended up in a high-speed car chase, but that's how it ended up. I
So
really think in real life, if
yeah.
they thought that two teenagers were getting away, I don't think that they would have done this.
Now,
Personally,
first of all, how many here's the thing, it's unrealistic because
you got all of the LAPD out here
all of the
checking out this
fucking
one
LAPD,
dancer.
all of the fucking LAPD, because that's what I'm saying, like, he's like, "Okay, they have enough cops to corner all these teenagers at the front door, the front gate, wherever they are, right?" So,
Right.
someone's like, "Oh, there's 2 teenagers away," and they have enough cops to thus have a high-speed chase.
Yeah.
Then later on, when they call the chopper, I'm like, "What the fuck? Where's, like" Oh my god. While I'm playing, right, I'm very into it, but when you just take a moment and realize what's going on, you just like I'm at a high school party and suddenly I'm getting chased by a chopper, and that doesn't correlate. Like,
Things really go from, like, 0 to 100 in
no,
the
for
back half
real.
of this
No,
chapter.
literally for real. And it's just so funny how, like,
I mean, literally 0 miles per hour to, like, 100 miles per hour with Logan
exactly.
chasing all those cops.
And we get met with the beginning of the chapter where he's like, "Can you trust me?" And she's like, "I just
Yeah.
you have no choice. He's doing 100 on the highway. What do you expect him to do? Stop? Like, no." Like,
Like, he gonna do whatever he's gonna do, like, whether you say you trust him or not. I do like if you tell him no, he's like, "I guess I'm gonna have to apologize after this then."
oh, ooh, yeah, I like that. I mean,
Yeah,
I trust you,
'cause I
daddy.
I I can't remember what I did. I can't remember if I said yes or no. I know if he says yes, he's like, "Good," and then if you say no, he's like, "I guess I'll have to." He says, "I guess I'll owe you an apology then." So either way, he's gonna do what he's gonna do.
I really like that
Um,
because you know what? And this is one of our favorite proverbs. It's better to ask for forgiveness than it is for
uh-huh.
mhm, mhm.
Like, "Bitch, we are not getting caught by the cops today. Not today. I said I would get you home on time for your curfew. We are getting there before your curfew,
He said,
okay?"
"Fuck your permission. I'll apologize later."
Yeah.
So he's
Um,
man, love that for
he zoom in, takes the car, jumps off the side of the bridge.
camp. Just cannot.
When I tell you my undies will be wet,
Like,
not in a good way. Not in a sexual way.
like when I tell you there'll be skid marks on the road and in my pants, like
We would have hit that highway and I would be like, we leave in the car and said, I am so sorry. Um, you might want to put a towel down on the seat
no,
because
you're like, listen, you have to apologize, and so do I. I'll go first. I shit myself.
let's start with the smallest offense first. I used the bathroom in your seat. Your passenger seat is now a toilet. Because
Oh
what
my
the fuck? And the car lands, it hits the highway. The cops send the fucking chopper, as you said.
god. Mm-hmm.
Logan going, I can't even imagine how fast this
No,
man's
like
going.
literally
I
kills
can't
all
imagine.
lights, kills all
Turns off, kills the engine, and he just gliding through like y'all just taking a nice little
literally.
pick me up drive at midnight.
Bitch put that shit in neutral, killed everything, and was like, "We zoom in."
We cruising, baby. We cruising.
Oh my god!
That's
But
what he said.
listen, let's backtrack just a little bit.
Okay.
During the chase, when he turns on the police scanner, I was like, "Oh, you've done this before." Okay,
Oh my god, yeah, no, bitch, I forgot about that.
that gives you a sense of like who his character is. This is very like repetitive for him. This is very like this is his life essentially.
Yeah.
And so when that police scanner come out, and it's like, we gotta yell. I said, okay, all right. I said, okay. That made me trust him a little bit more because I'm like, sir, like at this point, like, like truly at this point, who else am I gonna trust? You have a police scanner. Like you've came prepared.
That's one of those things where you find yourself in a scenario like you ever been in a guy's car and then you immediately went, "Oh no, I gotta get out."
No, I literally gotta get out.
A police scanner is one of those things where you're like, "I gotta go. I can't be here. Why do you have that?"
Like absolutely.
Bitch, I forgot. There were so many things happening in that scene.
I'm
It's
trying to
really
tell
easy
you,
to
yeah, it's
forget.
a lot. Because on
Yeah.
top of you trying to pay attention to the detail and like what he's doing, she over there about to bust. She's like, "Oh, I've never been so alive."
Yes. No, literally. She's like, "I feel so
Alive,
alive.
yes.
I feel free.
It's my fucking birthday.
It's my 18th birthday."
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Okay, and so then when he gets you home, you have the option to kiss Logan. Did you kiss Logan?
Of course, of course.
Yeah, I really don't know how you don't
How
kiss
you
Logan for
don't
this.
yeah, like you can't experience everything you've experienced with Logan and not kiss him. You just can't.
feel like even if you're just off an adrenaline high, even if you're just like, oh, I don't like this man, but he got me home without getting caught by the cops.
She, in the beginning of the second chapter, she said this, but this is how I felt in that moment. But she says, like, yo, it's my 18th birthday. I went to a party for the first time. I got into a high-speed chase. I escaped. Like, how do you not kiss that man? Like, how do you not?
Right.
Like,
unless you're playing the version of Ellie that's like, I don't want to do that again. I don't trust you. Blah blah blah. Then I would find it believable. But I do feel like playing that version of Ellie is just like, it's not.
who she wants to be, though. I just feel like,
Yeah, it's not in line with the way the plot goes.
yes,
Because
absolutely, because
1
she
and
has
2,
so many.
you're just doing
Absolutely,
whatever this man asks you to do,
absolutely.
right? You go into parties, you like going into his car, blah blah blah. So to play a character who is not excited about like what's happening, it wouldn't make sense to the plot. Which I think was some people's complaints about this book is that no matter how much you try to tell Logan, it's always like it always ends up leaning towards him anyways. I don't mind it because I like Logan, but I could
Right,
see
I
how
do.
if you don't like Logan and you're trying to tell him back off and it just keeps you keep going to places with him, you're like, oh, why? Why? Um so Ellie goes home, we kind of figure out that her dad's detective badge hanging from his neck, kind of the first time it's confirmed that he's a cop.
Yes, when I saw
Um,
that detective badge and he asked me, "Oh, who's that guy dropping you off? I thought you went to a small get together." I saw that badge and I said, "Oh, I gotta play this safe. I gotta,
right.
I gotta." So I
My daddy's
badge
a cop.
rule. You were honest. You were honest saying that you went to a party, but the option I chose was like, "Oh yeah, it was supposed to be." Like as of like, "Daddy, it's not my fault." Like I,
Mhm.
I didn't
Mhm.
know all these people were about to be there.
They lied to me.
You said you don't get mad.
Okay, so before we go into chapter 2, I have a couple questions.
Let's do it.
Some of them are statements, some of them are questions. Number 1, I just think the music in this book is, like, incredible.
Oh, yes, it is very good.
This book was definitely inspired off of Fast and Furious. I'm not a Fast and Furious viewer myself, but certain points you can definitely tell that it was inspired off Fast and Furious. I think we are both aligned on the fact that at this point we are both finding Logan alluring, at least.
Oh, yes, most def.
Yes. Question.
Yep.
Hypothetical.
Okay.
Let's say you're Ellie. Logan is speeding down the road. You're in the passenger seat. Are you glad that you're in the car escaping from the cops, or are you just kind of like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen next? Kind of wish I was back at the party.
Mm. In real life, I've been both. I've been
Uh huh.
the person running away from cops, and I've been like the person who's like, kind of like, see, here's the thing though. Okay, we're gonna get real, all right?
Okay.
If you're at the party stuck, you know your fate. Like, you can't get out of it. Well, actually, in retrospect, she probably could have because her daddy a cop. So
Uh huh.
I imagine, but again, we didn't know that, right? So let's say we do not know that our father's a cop, right?
Right.
You already know your fate. You're gonna get in trouble. Okay. Um, she didn't have a drink, so like she's not gonna get in trouble for that at least. But still, like you know your fate. There was just something about Logan and his confidence that I'm just like, he will get me out of this situation, and that's fine. That's okay. And we'll talk about it again in the second chapter, but there's another part where like his confidence is so there that I'm like, okay, cool. I have no reason not to trust you. So I would just be in the car. I would just be like, all right, because
I
like,
definitely do not think by any means that I would have been okay being in that car.
oh yeah, no.
No, not Ty. You just met this man like this morning. I think the only thing that would have given me a little bit of assurance is the fact that he had the fucking
Police scanner.
what was it? Yes. Okay, sorry. Technical difficulties. we we had to come back. Okay.
We're back.
As I was saying, the only thing that I think would have given me some security is the fact that he had the police scanner, and I don't say that as in I feel safe around him, but just as in I'm thinking, oh, he's clearly done this before.
Right, right.
'Cause I'm telling you, if I'm in that motherfucking cop car, not cop car, and the speedaway car, Logan's car, I'm not looking at him and telling him, "Oh, I trust you." I'm looking at him and telling him, "You better get me the fuck out of this scenario," because I didn't realize we were going to be entering a fucking cop chase. But yeah, no, I think I definitely would have rather been at the party.
I don't know. I think I'm just so much of an adrenaline junkie.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Realistically, you just met this man like today. And now all of a sudden you're supposed to trust that he's going to get you out of the scenario alive and out of cops' hands when realistically he could crash. When he hit the side of that bridge, you could have died.
Right?
You really could have died. Someone just blatantly hitting the side of that bridge. Yeah, no, I think in my head I would rather be like in the party, even though getting caught by the police sucks. But obviously, once you arrive at your house and you're safe and sound, you're like, oh, thank God I wasn't there. But the hypothetical I was asking was not afterwards. I was asking why you're speeding down the road. What's your first thought? And my first thought would be, I need to be back there. Drop me off. That was my first thought. Drop me off.
My first thought would be, let me just get out of this alive. Let's just not die.
Okay. There are, again, choices where Ellie can either be like excited or apprehensive about doing something dangerous. I think we both played her as excited.
Especially after this in the second chapter, I was like, we're just about to be for it. Like, no matter what,
Yeah.
we just gonna go for it.
Again, like I said, as I said earlier, I think it's the only way to play Ellie, and that makes sense to me.
Oh,
In my
yes. Yes.
If you play her as apprehensive, I don't think the rest of the plot makes sense. Okay, so we're done with chapter 1. Let's go to chapter 2. You
Ooh,
ready?
I love this chapter.
Chapter 2, called Troublemaker.
Hmm.
The summary of this chapter is Logan shows you a side of Los Angeles that you've never known. Can you handle the heat? Chapter starts off. Ellie's dad, we don't know his name, so we're just gonna say Ellie's dad. Dad, we'll call him Dad.
Dad, Papa.
Um, Papa Bear
Yep.
asked who dropped you off. Ellie can either say Rhea or a boy that she met. Which one do you pick?
I said a boy that I met.
Correct. I agree. I also said a boy. Um, I
Again,
think
I saw that cop
it would be
badge.
a dumb lie. It
Oh
would be
yeah,
a
I
dumb
saw that
lie.
cop badge. I said there's no point in lying. There's
It's a dumb lie because he literally pokes his head out before because he pokes the head out and sees the car before you even have a chance to tell him who it is. So he gonna see a yellow car, a yellow GT, whatever the fuck it was, Devore GT, and you're gonna say it's Rhea's car?
right, right.
No, it's not. He knows what Rhea's car looks like. No, it's not. I because I said it was a party, you can be very upfront and tell him that he wanted to get you home before curfew, and your dad's chill.
He's so chill. He's chill. Yeah, he's chill.
He's chill. Which again, I'm like, why be lying to him?
Yeah,
He
very
doesn't
chill.
care.
The only part that
He
I
doesn't
feel
care.
bad about is that, like, obviously after that conversation, he says that he has to go back to work, and like the cupcake that he gives you, the cake
Yeah.
almost gone. That
Yeah.
kind of made me feel like an asshole. But no one told him to light that right at 10. So really, I feel bad, but like, come on now. If you don't hear me at the front door, why are you lighting a candle?
But I think it is sad because he's like, how light were they at this party? I mean, he's getting ready to go to work. Unless he just has a late shift.
Well, that's what he said.
I think he just has a late shift. Yeah, because she has time to go to bed and wake up.
Yes,
So it's not like
yes.
she just got home and was like, "Let me go get ready for school because it's so late."
Right, right, right. You're right.
Yeah. Okay. No, it is sad. It's like sad you show up and your dad was like waiting for you.
Yeah, that is. That's gonna, and then he can't spend time with you because he has to go to work.
Yeah. So like he got no birthday time with you. Oh, now I'm sad. Okay, so she goes to bed. Wakes up in the morning. She gets a text from Logan saying, "I want to see you tonight. Here's the Addy." Okay. Ellie walks downstairs for breakfast. She meets Detective Shaw, his new character. He's her dad's new partner as Job, and they're working together to take down Mercy Park crew. At the school, when Ellie goes to school, Ellie discusses, the party with Rhea and Darius. She either has the option of being like a little bit tight-lipped, are just telling them that Logan helped her get out. She also tells the two of them that she's going to that location, that address with Logan.
Mhm.
Um, Ria's like very excited. She's like, "Oh my god, my best friend's life is like finally getting exciting." Did she tell them about the kiss? I can't remember. Um,
I can't either. Does she?
yeah, I don't know. I'm blanking. I feel like you have to. I feel like you have to tell your best friend you just got your first kiss from a boy you just met that day,
Yeah, and that's
right?
exactly why I told the truth, because I'm like, "Oh, this is my."
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I have to, I have to be like, "Oh, I went to a high-speed chase."
Bruh, could you imagine if that was you and me and one of us didn't tell the other person?
The Here's the thing, though. It would not even be, like, shock. It would not even be like, "Are you okay?" There would be no other emotion but betrayal. It would be like, at this point, I don't give a fuck what you went through. Why the fuck didn't you tell me? Like,
Right. How dare you?
how did you beast? You menace?
You touched that man's lips with your lips and didn't notify me immediately. I didn't get a text.
I didn't get a Snapchat of the kiss. Like, it's the
Oh
fakery
my
for me.
god.
It's truly the fakery for me. Like,
Oh my god. So Rhea, she's very excited. Darius is a lot more reserved. I think it's very clear that you're Rhea, I'm Darius. In this scenario.
mhm.
I think he would be like, "Yes, girl, fuck her up," and then meanwhile, I'm like, "I don't know. Do you know anything about this man?"
Like, he like.
Oh my
Why
god.
does he have
I
a clean
relate to
dinner?
Darius. Is he lame? Yes, but do I relate to him? Yes.
He's like the voice of caution, and that's why I appreciate
Yeah.
him.
Everyone needs two friends. Everyone needs a friend that is a little too enthusiastic, and everyone needs a friend that is like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Yeah,
back it up."
like Ria's like, "Oh my god, let's fuck it up at this party," and Darius is like, "Yes, I understand that, but we have to eat first." And it's like, "Yeah, you're
Yeah, he's like, "We if we're gonna drink alcohol, we need to fuel our bodies."
right." That is.
So later that day, Ellie goes to the party that Logan invited her to. Um, she meets. I'm just gonna call him Motorcycle.
Yes,
We don't
yes,
know his name at this point.
right.
So she meets Motorcycle. He's a hard ass. He's pretty rude. He insinuates a few times that she should not be there. Um, and she asks him like where they are, and he says they're at an event called a sideshow, which is where people bring their cars, they race, they like do tricks. They're just kind of showing off, right?
Mhm.
Logan sees Ellie and just kind of immediately starts butting heads with this man, which I didn't understand a little bit.
Well, the only two options I didn't like because they were both extreme.
Yeah,
Because it's what, like, oh, he was just showing me directions, which seems
which
very
he was not. He was not.
right, right, which is very passive and not the case. Or like he's harassing me, which like was I giving it back to him? Yes. Like I was just,
Yeah.
I was a smart ass. I was like, you don't know where I'm from. You don't know what part of the crowd I should belong to. And then it was just like, oh, let's fight. Let's, can you back it up? And I was like, oh my god.
You're like men.
Literally men.
Men. Oh,
Ellie in the
yeah,
background,
no.
like, get him, Logan. I'm like, oh my god.
Oh my god, Ellie, calm down. Damn.
Yeah, one touch
She's
face
like,
him.
he's a bad boy. Beat up somebody for me.
But like, it's weird because Motorcycle Guy, the moment he popped up, I was like, oop, who is he and what is his story? I was like completely automatically intrigued.
Mhm.
For Ellie to have such an aggressive response about him, I felt like that was just a tad bit unrealistic.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, in retrospect, like, could she not know what the event was? Yes. But come on, 2 plus 2 equals 4. Let's use our deductive reasoning skills. This is like a street racing place. This is not your crowd. Why are you getting aggressive with people you don't know?
Exactly. You don't know this man. Like,
You
I'm
do
like,
not know
girl,
his name.
be a little bit more street smart.
Yeah,
Stop
for
getting into
real.
a fight with every man that you see.
No, for real.
Because Logan, he's hot headed. Clearly, as we learn from this interaction, this man gonna get shot
He gonna get
if
shot.
he going after everybody that gives you a side eye.
If he
You walk into a place full of
everyone.
probably criminals, and you out
No,
here picking fights
literally.
and setting Logan on all of them.
And it's just so funny because like literally walking around with criminals, and then she gets mad that they're like, "You don't belong here."
She's like, "How dare you point out the obvious?"
You wanna talk about criminals? My dad tells me about his cases all the damn time, okay?
Oh my god.
If they ever found out that her dad is a cop, oh, forget about it. Like,
Bitch,
literally forget
you'd
about it.
be beaten up so motherfucking quickly and tossed onto the highway.
Oh my god. The same highway
Your
she
dad
just
might never see
off?
her again. Um, this interaction, pretty short. I think like Logan and Colt just say like one or two things to each other, and then Logan's like, "Fuck you, bro," and then starts showing Ellie around the place.
Right, right.
He makes this really interesting comment where I think Ellie has a choice to say to him, like, "You don't have to prove anything to me," and he's like, "I have something to prove to
To prove to
everyone here."
everyone. Yes, I chose that, and when he said that, it was just like I don't know, I didn't know how to feel about that.
Right.
I think later on they actually do a good job in, like, constructing why he said that, we'll get there, but, like,
Mhm.
at that time, I was like, "Who are you proving anything to?" Like, oh my god, actually, they do a really good job with, like, answering why he said that, we'll get there. Be p
Uh-huh.
listeners, be patient, be patient.
Be patient. Be patient. Yeah, no, I mean, my first thought was like maybe in like a because this is obviously a gang of people that are a little bit hardened, right? This is
Yeah.
not Ellie's level of people, right? So I'm like, maybe it's just like you always have to be tough in front of these people. That was like my first thought.
Okay, okay.
That was like my first thought was like maybe he just always has to like be kind of performative here because he can't like seem soft in front of this
Right.
crowd. Anywho, we're kind of going around this party. We're meeting people. Eventually, we learn that I pronounce it Kaneko.
Yes, 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 yes.
I'm gonna call him Kaneko. There's a person named Kaneko who's looking for Logan, and the mood gets like very somber.
Right, but
Be-
that is bef after we meet his cousin, quote, unquote, "his cousin."
yeah, yeah, his like adoptive, not adoptive
Mhm,
cousin.
mhm. Who owns a
Um,
food truck.
yes. The interaction between Logan and Kaneko is like pretty muted. It's like serious, straightforward. Kaneko scolds Logan for running away from the police and like getting himself in that position.
Mhm.
Kind of almost fatherly in a way, and then he hands Logan his car keys and specifies that he doesn't want to scratch in his car. It's at this point after that scene that there's a diamond option and Logan invites Ellie to dance. I think you said you took this one as well.
Hell yeah, I did.
How'd you like it? How'd you like it?
Um,
You think it was worth it?
child. Okay. Yes and no. Listen,
Okay.
when you go on the dance floor and she's like, "Ugh, I don't know how to dance," I got pissed off. I don't know what I expected, but, like, I just got mad. Damn, girl. Did you really just make me waste this diamond on you? You don't know how to dance? So, they get close, it's very sensual, their foreheads are touching, and then you have the option, like, what do you wanna do? Like, turn around or, like, hands over, shoulder action.
Hmm.
Like, we're gonna keep looking at him, we're gonna keep this sensual vibe, okay? Because I just feel like if you turned around, it would be a little risque, right? Like, do we want that? Like, eventually, but, like, let's vibe. So, like, I had my arms around his shoulders. It was very nice. And then, when the slow dancing came on, right? And then you have the option like, "Oh, kiss me right now," or like, "Oh, you're such a good dancer." I said, "Girl, if you don't get this second kiss, like, if you don't let this man kiss you." So I picked that, and, like, I felt like that is what made it worth it. It was a cute little moment. She learned something new. He's obviously allowing her to break out of her shell.
Hmm.
No, I liked it. That was good. A lot better than the first diamond scene because that one I was like, "Oh." This one, I don't know, it felt natural, I would say. It felt natural.
Yeah. No, I like this diamond scene. I like it because I think it's a good example of like Logan meeting Ellie where she is.
Oh, yes, yes.
Like he's not like, "Oh, you need to be this type of, I don't know. I don't want to say like type of girl that he's used to because we don't know that, but you don't need to be like this version of yourself that like you're not. Like it's okay. Come as you are.
Right.
I will help you be more comfortable when you're here.
Yes, because when he was talking with his quote unquote cousin, his cousin had made a comment like, "Oh, he doesn't ever bring a girl around me, so you must be special." And that I like that conversation because it just validates that like what he's feeling for you is real. Because during that dance scene, I think there's an option that's like, where did you learn to dance? Like with other girls or like at parties? And like I almost wanted to feel like a little insecure and pick girls, but I was like, no, he has made it very clear time after time again that there's just something about you that's special and he's never felt this way about a girl before. So I picked, I want to say it was the party scene. And like he had made a comment like, last night we got to experience your world. I wanted you to experience mine. And I was like, there's just something so intimate about that. He's very intimate. And like, I don't know, I really like that about him. I'm over here crushing on the cartoon Logan. I'm done. I'm done.
Wow, God bless that there's this character that is like, no, like I'll teach you everything you need to do. Like just follow me. I'm a lead.
Oh,
I appreciate that. The only other thing that I think that is important in this scene for characterization is like Ellie makes a comment before when Logan was like, I want you to come dance with me. She was like, I don't really know how to dance. She tells Logan that she like hates that version of herself.
yes.
So again, we're getting like the theme of her being like, I'm very uncomfortable, but I also hate the version of me that is uncomfortable.
It's just like, well, it's okay to change. And that he makes her feel like it's okay to change and like be whoever she wants to be. And it's a really good scene.
Now that we're going talking about Vaughn, I just have to say, I think that comment, while kind from him, is just like a little bit too early because I've only known this man for a little over 24 hours. So for you to say, "Oh, I think this is something different because he never brings girls here," I'm like, all right. Like, it's nice, but I think realistically, the mature version of me is like, let's take that with a grain of motherfucking salt because
Yes, yeah, you were absolutely right. You were absolutely right. If
I'm
there
like, who?
was
Why
not,
are you trying to sell this to me so hard?
yes, yes, yes. I was about to say, if there was not already some indication in the previous episode of there being something like unique and special about this,
Hmm.
if I was facing that situation, I would look at Logan and I would look at his cousin. I would be like, whose smart idea was this to set this up?
Right.
Because it's not,
And we
like,
get it. Listen, Ellie's 18. She's never had a boyfriend. She's never even been kissed before she met Logan. This bitch is naive. I am not saying that I'm not trying to say, "Oh, Ellie's stupid and like it's dumb that she doesn't do X, Y, and Z." But what I am saying is me as an adult, I'm like I'm getting love bombed. That's what's happening here.
no, like,
I'm getting
yes,
love
yeah, I'm
bombed.
getting gaslighted.
I'm getting love bombed. I'm like this is a manipulation tactic. um Okay, so after the diamond scene, Bond, Logan's cousin, lost his food truck in a bet against a man who's Salazar. We had not met him up until this point. Logan decides to race Salazar to win the truck back, and ends up putting up Kaniko's car as his bet. Um,
Mhm.
Ellie overhears someone state that someone, we don't know exactly who, is in the NPC. And if you are able to recall what the NPC is, it is Mercy Park Crew. If you're able to recall that, Ellie kind of has this thought where she's like, "Oh, it's Salazar. That's an NPC." So now she's like afraid. Okay. She's even like she doesn't really know. I don't even really know if Ellie like knows who the fuck Mercy Park Crew is. She just kind of is like, "Oh, that's the gang that my father is investigating. They have to be bad, right?"
Right.
Um, the motorcycle, he pulls up and he seems very angry, irritated that Logan is betting Kaniko's car, and he decides to join the race on his bike. Okay. Ellie tries to get Logan to not do the race because she's afraid that because he's in a gang, Salazar is in a gang, that Salazar is going to play dirty. Um, Logan's pretty adamant that he's going to do it, and he asks Ellie to be his pair of eyes for him on the road and comments that, you know, he knows that she enjoys the adrenaline rush. So he's like, I know you like it more than you want to admit. Come
Mhm.
with me, help me win this race. Okay. He's reading her like an open book at this point. I don't know if you really took the diamond option, did you?
Yes, I did. So the setup of this scene was very fast paced and nothing worked out the way I needed it to work
Mhm.
out. So initially, when his cousin lost a food truck, I got pissed because I'm like, why are you trying to race a food truck? That's first and
Exactly.
foremost. Secondly, I look at Logan with again like that confidence that we were talking about, and I was like, you're gonna have to win it back. That's what you're gonna have to do. The option was like, oh, you're not going to take his food truck, or like, you look at Logan and you're like, yo, you're going to have to win this back. And I clicked that and he was like, you're right. I'm going to race my boss's car. And then that's when I was like, wait a
You
damn
said, hold
minute.
on.
Wait a
Where's your
minute.
GT Devore?
I said, that is not what I said. That's not what I said.
You said, listen, if
So
that's what you choose to
after,
do, but I just don't want you to think it was my idea.
exactly, after the whole conversation of you figuring out that they're going to cheat, again, I felt like I needed to take the diamond option to help him out because I know that if I was in that situation, I would be able to perceive things better than he would if he's focusing on the road. So in my head, I'm like, you know what? Like, I will be your second pair of eyes. So when that opportunity presented itself, I clicked them diamonds so damn
Mhm.
fast. Let's go driving, baby. Let's go.
Really, the only consequence here, I also took it, just not really that significant to the plot. The only thing that changes is that, like either way, Vaughn gets his car back. I think the only thing that changes is that if you race with Logan and you pick like the right choices, then he wins the race and beats Salazar. But if you don't, Colt wins the race, but Logan still beats Salazar, so he still wins Vaughn's truck back.
Okay.
Either way, that's
Okay.
like the significance of the diamond scene. Um, so Salazar, upset, angry, bitter bitch, he keys Kaniko's car. Okay.
That was insane.
Right. We're like, oh, you're playing this game. Kaniko shows up.
Yeah.
I guess Salazar didn't know Kaniko was there. We don't know what the fuck is up with Kaniko, but he is a scary motherfucker.
He is so scary.
Why is he so scary? I mean, I guess, again, criminals. These are criminals. So Kaniko makes Salazar fuck up his own car. He like makes him key his own car, and then he hands him, what does he hand him?
A
A
crowbar.
crowbar, and is like, hit your windows, hit your side windows.
Yes.
So he like makes him fuck up his own car. Salazar leaves the parking lot with like his tail between his legs.
No, like literally with a busted ass car, busted windshields, busted headlights, busted mirrors.
Uh-huh. Busted up car. Oh, that's right, he did make him hit his headlights.
Yeah.
Kaneko is like surprisingly, at least for me, proud of Logan using his car for the bet. He's like,
Yeah, he said it was very cozy,
good boy,
very,
good boy,
yeah.
basically. At the same time, motorcycle shows up. And Kaneko, whatever the fuck I'm calling him now, Kaneko reveals that he is Kaneko's son and that his name is Colt. Okay. So now we're like, oh, makes sense why he was so upset that Logan was betting his father's car. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of strange that like Colt just showed up and his dad didn't know he was gonna be there. I don't know. There's obviously some history between these two.
Yes, because you gotta understand, like, these scenes have to be very, like, low key. So who gave Colt the information that this was about to be here?
Right. Exactly.
If he's supposed to be some estranged son and like, Kaneko hasn't seen him in a little bit, how he know where to be at?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So there's some history. Kaneko invites everyone back to the garage to celebrate. As they're getting in Kaneko's car to drive back, Kaneko rolls up his sleeve. He has a tattoo on his arm that says NPC, and that's when Ellie puts two and two together, and she's like, "Oh shit,
Mm-hmm.
he's in the crew," which means Logan's in the
Mm-hmm.
crew. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and that's kind of the end of chapter 2. Um, how about, is there any difference of opinion in how you felt about Logan from chapter 1 to 2?
No,
Okay.
not really. The only silver lining that I find myself um having,
Mm-hmm.
it, maybe Logan's not in that deep. I can get him out of it. Like that's really, me, be trying to save everybody but myself. So that's like my main. Like I'm like, you know what? I just feel like there's not enough information to just, fight or flee yet, fight or flight. So I just kind of want to, I need to get, I need to look at, I need to get some info. I need to see what's up with Kaneko and his son Colt. If my dad want to subconsciously spill some information out, by all means, that would be pretty awesome. I don't know, like, it just would be so ironic for this to happen to her, right? Like, her dad is chasing Logan, she is chasing Logan. Like, there's just a lot going on with Logan's character that I hope, gets shed and put in the light a little bit more so we can find out some more information, some more backstory about him, definitely some backstory about Kaneko. Maybe she'll learn how to drive in the future. There's just the possibilities of this book. It's just, I'm excited to see where it goes.
Right.
It coming from someone who's played it before. You've played it before. I don't know. Like, you almost feel like the cliffhanger ending. Like, everything that's gonna happen. So just you listening to me squirm in my ideals about it.
Because I realize some people, like, they'll be like, oh, I don't want to give spoilers, but they'll kind of, like, give you hints through their tone or word choice on what's going to happen. I'm like, oh, no. I want you to go through the same journey that I fucking went through with this book. You will not be getting any motherfucking hints from me. You will go through all the same shit that I went through with this book. Same thing. My opinion, I think when I first played through, my opinion of Logan really didn't change. I think I was just like, oh, he's cute, he's hot, blah blah blah. What are your feelings on Colt? How do we feel about him as a character?
Okay, here's the thing. Going back to that comment that I had made where Logan was like, oh, I have to prove myself to everyone. That made me feel like he literally looked at Kaneko like a father figure and like a lost puppy. So he feels like he has to prove himself to everyone because they're all questioning why is Logan so special that he is so close to Kaneko, and like why Kaneko's like, looking at him like an adopted son, taking him under his wing because no one wants to be a charity case. So he has to prove that he's not that. So for Colt, his biological son to pop up, that threw me for a loop. I said, what the hell is about to go down? Because he said it himself, like, Kaneko's like a father figure, I do jobs for him. He's looked out for me. Like, we're pretty close. Like, I do what he says, like a son. And so for him to have a real son and for them to butt heads the way they butt heads and for Ellie to be involved, the story is just really, again, that rise in action taking place. I'm with it. I'm ready for the climax. I'm ready to see the character development. But Colt's character, I think I love the introduction of it because it just added the right amount of chaos in the situation.
Right. And also, it makes sense. You're sitting here like, who is this man? Why he's so angry? And you're like,
yeah, no,
why
like,
is he
literally,
getting such
why
a
is he so
spotlight?
angry?
What are your, I guess, like, what are your predictions, I guess, for like Colt and Logan's relationship? What are your predictions for kind of like how Ellie and Colt's relationship are going to evolve, how Ellie and Logan's relationship is going to evolve? What do you think is the dynamic between these three?
I am truly scared that I'm going to start liking Colt more than Logan. I think it just all depends on the backstory. I think what Logan is what Colt couldn't be, and that's why their relationship between Colt and Kaneko, that's why it's estranged. Because I think Kaneko wanted, like, a son to be like this badass, posse type, pink slip, side street, side show, what the fuck ever. And he just wasn't about that. Which makes it weird. I don't know, because like he just came out of nowhere back in that scene again. So I'm like, why? Like, what's the point of coming if you and your father weren't all that cool? I think Ellie is going to get that out of him, and they're going to have a touching moment. This is my prediction. I think they're going to have a touching moment. I think Colt's gonna be like, look, I might come off as an asshole, but like this is what I had to deal with. And we can't all be a prodigy and not care about our life like Logan,
Mm,
right? And I think that
strong words.
Colt might be the better choice. But I don't know. I don't know. As far as Ellie and Logan, I just think Logan is gonna be like, you have to be my ride or die in these situations.
Mm-hmm.
And as someone who has been a ride or die in certain situations, like it's all fun and game until all we doing is riding. And like, it's just like I don't know. I don't know. I truly feel like I might flip. Cause like it's all fun and game and like yeah, like and the I think the reason why I chose the way I did was because of Ellie's character, because she's never experienced anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point the thrill ends and
Right.
it's just you're left with fear and anxiety. And I just think that I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. We will have to see.
Wow. I love that. I love that line. At some point, the thrill ends.
Oh.
I feel that either being the episode title, maybe, maybe later on. I don't know. I love that line. Wow. What a great thought. Thank you for sharing that. I love that. Um, so is it safe to say that you're enjoying the book so far?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. Well, there's one more thing. We're almost done, promise. I just want to show you one thing. I'm gonna share something to your email. I thought this would be fun to play. Um,
Okay,
Obviously for
yes, let's do
podcast
it.
listeners, we will describe to you visually what's happening. For those who are listening on YouTube, I'll also put an image and stuff. And I have like a Tumblr page and stuff for this podcast. So if you want to see what we're looking at, like I will have it linked there as well. But for now, I'm just going to kind of talk through what the image is. The image is ride or die bingo. Okay. So essentially, where this came from is ride or die was relentlessly made fun of. And it's before it got released, right? Because it's called Ride or Die a Bad Boy Romance. That's like what the full name of the book is. And people on Reddit were like, what the fuck is this bullshit? It's going to be full of cliches, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it was just getting ripped apart before even chapter one came up. So a Reddit user, I don't know their name. I'm gonna go look for it and post it. I'm gonna credit them. But a Reddit user came up with this ride or die bingo. And it's not based off of any actual plot points. It's based off of their prediction of cliches that this book would meet. Okay. So I think it's only appropriate that at the end of every episode we go through and see if we hit bingo.
Okay, yes,
Right?
yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
I like that.
We're just gonna start from like the top left. Okay.
Okay.
First, top left box, Logan makes fun of you for being a good student. Hasn't happened yet.
Yeah,
Can't say
no.
that happened. Next box, your gang will definitely have a car crash at some point. No.
No, not yet.
Your father will have to pick you up from a police station. No.
Oh, child. Oh, I hope not.
Again, none of these are based off of actual plot points. This was created before chapter one was released.
Right.
All your high school friends worry that you've become unrecognizable. No. Logan's gang will involve you in dangerous missions to test your trust. No. You'll be given the choice to wear rebel clothing, but because you don't have diamonds, you'll look like a scroll girl all the time. Lucas.
I mean,
Lucas?
that's a yes.
Right.
In retrospect, yeah, that's a yes, most
We're
def.
crossing that. I'm just gonna put a little line on my end. I'm just taking a little screenshot and editing it, and I'll post this again on the Tumblr. So there we go. We have one. You will emotionally manipulate your dad to help your friends, even if it's against his integrity.
Oh.
No.
Nope, not
Your teachers worry that you are failing your grades, but you don't care. Not yet. You will have a fight with your dad over your new healthy lifestyle. No.
Nope.
A rival gang will challenge Logan, and you will have to defend his honor.
I mean, yeah.
Did that happen? Did we defend
Well,
him?
that's not. No, because they weren't a rival.
Mhm.
No. Yeah, no. Yeah, no.
Logan has a tragic backstory involving a car crash to make him a sympathetic bad boy.
Oh my god. Not yet.
I didn't read all of these before I put it on here. Sorry, I'm like reacting to it in real time. You'll argue with your high school. You'll argue with your high school friends you've known for years just to protect someone you met a week ago. Stop it.
Ooh.
I didn't read that. I didn't read that.
Ooh. Um.
No, that hasn't happened. Okay, I'm gonna just mark that little free space in the middle. Okay. Logan will show you unsanitary places of LA, which look like a dump from the outside, but modern inside. Your dad will prohibit you from seeing Logan, but you will escape. No. When Logan and his gang get arrested, you'll cry a river because they'll blame you as the mole.
Oh my god.
No. You'll justify everything Logan does by saying that no one understands him like you do.
Oh my god.
No. Logan's gang will have a hard time accepting you because you are too proper. No. We haven't even met his gang yet. Logan will be busted
Right.
carrying drugs, but you know he's innocent because he says so. No. Logan's antics will get you hospitalized, but somehow it will be all your dad's fault.
Oh.
No.
Well, these are really good predictions,
Right.
though.
These are like good. After meeting Logan, school will suddenly become boring and you will want to feel alive.
That's a guess already. I mean,
But is school boring though?
well, she hasn't said in. She hasn't. No. Because right now she's still trying to balance both. She's trying to
I feel
have
like we'll have to come to a point to where she wants to like ditch school in order
right.
for it to
Okay.
work
Yes.
out.
Yes. You're right. Absolutely.
Logan will save you from kidnappers he sent you to
Oh
as
my
part of
fucking
his loyalty test. Damn, they really make
god.
out Logan to be like a manipulative person.
Gaslighting ass
God,
bitch.
Logan will become a fugitive, but you'll be by his side.
But-
Logan will call you nicknames and bully you, but you'll end up thinking that's romantic.
okay.
Okay. You'll drive without a license because life's too short.
I'm fucking weak. I can definitely see that fucking happening.
It's very realistic. So far, the only one that we've marked is you'll be given the choice to wear rebel clothing. But because you don't have diamonds, you'll look like a schoolgirl all the time. That's because of
Yeah,
Lucas.
which
You can
is
blame Lucas on that
yeah. Hi.
one. Hi. You're like, my bad. I
If
apologize.
he cannot like me for my ugly ass college sweater, then he doesn't deserve me.
That's right. Ladies, if he doesn't love you and your 10-year-old Langston stretched out college sweater with either no bra or a strapless bra underneath, he doesn't deserve you, ladies. All right.
And that's on period.
Let me just go ahead and save this because we're gonna be we're gonna pull this up in future episodes. This is coming back.
I cannot
This
wait.
isn't ending here. Okay. And we're done. We're done.
Love
It's the end
that.
of the second episode. Please go check us out on all of our socials. We're at Play
Yes.
Choices Podcast on Instagram, at Play Choices Pod on Twitter, and we're available for pretty much listening on all major platforms except for Apple Podcasts. I know, I'm working on it. It's hard getting on that platform. If you have any questions, series, comments, reactions, etc., if you just feel like talking to us, email us at playchoicespodcast@gmail.com and we'll try to respond in the next episode. Thanks, Lucas.
No problem, V.
Bye.
Bye.